Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this lesson we're going to talk about what is software. You may have heard this term before, but maybe you've never actually learned what it is. Well, we're going to talk about that today. Excuse me. All right, so our learning objective, and I'm kind of blocking a bit of it down there, but that's okay. So we're going to use software tools for creating, finding, organizing, and communicating information. You're going to be able to understand software types and be able to access updates to your software. And you're going to explore some popular software today as well. So what is software? Well, software is essentially computer instructions or data inside the computer itself. It's anything that's stored electronically inside the computer, usually stored on the hard drive or the solid state drive within the computer. And it's all stored electronically. None of it is like tangible or real, right? It's not like I can touch software. It's inside the computer. It's all just ones and zeros inside the computer. Now, without software, your computer would not run. Your computer requires an operating system, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and it requires software in order for it to do things, right? The hardware is its own separate thing, and without software, the hardware won't really do anything. So there are different types of software. There are a lot more different types of software than just the two generic categories I've listed here, but it's important to understand these two categories. First, we have system software, and this is stuff like your operating system, drivers, really anything that allows your computer to run effectively and allows you to use your computer. Then we have application software, and that's all the software that you install on your computer to allow you to do things like surf the internet, watch movies, play video games. Those are all application software. And generally this is like apps on your phone as well. Those are applications. So let's talk about some different kinds of applications that exist. So we have productivity, entertainment, communication, and education. Now, these are just four general categories that I've put together. I'm sure you can think of other categories that exist, but for the most part, almost all software or all applications fall into one of these four categories. So productivity would be things like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, maybe Adobe PowerPoint, or Adobe Photoshop, sorry. Anything that allows you to create something new, anything that allows you to organize your life, or word processing programs, things like that. Then we have entertainment. Entertainment is games, but not just games, right? Games are a huge part of entertainment applications, but things like video players, so you can watch movies on your computer. There are all kinds of entertainment applications. Music playing applications, you can listen to music as well. Communication, that's going to be Skype, Zoom, anything that allows you to communicate with other people. Your email would fall under a communication application. And then you have education, things like Canvas, where you're watching this right now. There are tons of educational apps out there as well. So this basically covers billions of applications that exist. There are tons of things out there. Productivity, entertainment, communication, and education. Everything you find can fit into one of those categories. All right, let's talk about software updates. This is something that people generally tend to ignore at their own peril. All right, software updates are incredibly important. Programmers will, when they develop a new application, they put it out, they can't possibly account for all of the different bugs or hacks that might compromise that software. And so over time, as they find issues with their program, they will create a package that when you install it will plug up that security hole, right? If you don't install the new package, if you don't install the update, then you are leaving your software open to vulnerabilities. Always update software whenever you can. Now, there are applications that will allow you to manage your software updates File Hippo, for example, is one. It's a great idea to find something like that and then use it to manage all of your software updates. I set my software to update in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping and I'm not using my computer. That way it doesn't bother me and all my software gets updated without me even knowing it. So, really important. So let's talk about how software generally works. So I'm sure you've heard that computers only understand ones and zeros, right? They only understand two different digits. So 1 and 0, these make up binary language or machine language. Now, all of your software is built essentially using programming languages, which are higher order than machine language. Machine language is 1 and 0. Programming language are instructions written in English in a certain organization in order to make the applications run. When you're writing code, which we'll do a little bit of programming in this class toward the end, when you're writing code, you're not actually just typing out ones and zeros. You're actually writing instructions. And the programming language will convert into the ones and zeros that the computer needs in order to understand what it's supposed to do. So, bits and bytes. You may have heard these terms before, bits and bytes. Well, a bit is just either a 1 or a 0. It's just one piece of information, right? A 1 or a 0. A byte is 8 of those strung together. So 8 ones or 8 zeros, or a combination of those, right? So 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, right? That's a byte, okay? So 1,000 bytes, or 1,024 bytes, is a kilobyte, right? Kilobyte. Then we have a megabyte, which is a million, roughly a million. Then we have a gigabyte, which is roughly a billion. And then a tera, and peta, and exa, and zeta, and yada. So it just keeps going up and up and up and up. Right now, we're at about the tera level. So if you get a new hard drive, it's probably going to be at least 1 terabyte or more. I have a new solid state hard drive I'm going to install in my computer probably after I get done recording this video, and it is 1 terabyte. You can probably see right there, 1 terabyte, 1 TB. So this will hold, let's see, roughly about 1 trillion bytes of data onto this hard drive. So that's good. That's exciting. So let's talk about programming languages, right? So again, I'm not writing out 1 trillion ones and zeros. And if I want to make a new application, I don't want to have to type ones and zeros all day. So what I do is I write code in a programming language. So there are a lot of different kinds of programming languages out there. There's, C#, C++, JavaScript, Java, Python, Ruby, tons of others, right? Now, these are all languages that allow me to build applications for different operating systems. Now, you're not going to have to learn a ton of programming in this class. This is a very entry-level course. We will do a scotch of programming, a bit of programming, a touch of programming, but we're not going to be learning anything too crazy. HTML, XHTML, CSS, these are all internet languages that allow us to build web pages as opposed to building applications. So there are a lot of different languages out there, and they all do different things. So this is a sample program. So this is what a program would look like in, this is C++. So notice that the words on this screen are English, right? These are English words. They're just spelled weirdly, and they're in weird places, and we have all these different weird symbols and all this stuff. This is just essentially computer programming. Essentially what this is saying is I want to put out to the screen these two words, hello world, and then I want to end my line. And so this is what that application will, this is the result of that application, is this little, thing down there, the console window. That's the result of that program that we just wrote. Again, we won't really be doing this in the class, but it's important for you to see what it looks like so you can kind of recognize it whenever you see it again. So at the end of the material for this week, you will be coming up with your own idea for a piece of software. Now, you don't have to write the code for it. I just want you to tell me about it. I want you to sell me on the idea of this application. So again, you don't have to write the code for it. But that's going to be at the end of the week. There are a couple more videos and a quiz for you to go through. But start thinking now about what you would want to build in terms of software, and start thinking about why it's important, and start thinking about what it would do. So anyway, I'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks for paying attention.